So in my previous video, I spoke about building a crazy business with the help of AI. So I'm going to be showing you guys briefly what we've built. I have to blur this out, I know, but we're going to go into the details of how I built this. And I'm going to explain why it's blurred out even. So stick along with me, you'll know more in a second. Okay, so the first thing is blue ocean strategy. Now, those of you who haven't read the book, you should definitely read it. I did not read the whole book, I'm going to be very honest. I just skimmed through the first few chapters and it's quite clear the idea, right? You don't build a business in a cluttered market, right? Because then it's just a price war, meaning you're just trying to get cheaper than your competition and you keep going down that battle until nobody has any real margin and you all are just suffering and dying. So blue ocean strategy is basically you do a few things differently, and as an outcome of that, you build this business that's a completely different business that's not at all existing in the market, and you have the entire market to capture. Now, this product that we're working on right now is sort of a blue ocean project. So because of that, I can't disclose the complete project to you. It's as simple as that. A lot of you might click out of this video right now, but I'm going to be explaining the strategy behind it. What's the idea? Like I mentioned in my last video, I plan on creating $1 million of value for people through this product. What's the idea behind it? How it's going to work without going into actual details of the product. In blue oceans, the advantage that you have is very fragile because your competition, there's all these Goliaths, these giant corporates that can make you vanish like this. There's a horrible snap, but you're gone if you do not have that secret advantage. Steve Jobs did this a lot, right? Like when he would build products at Apple, literally people in his own company would not know. They would have separate teams that would not be allowed to interact with any of the other employees because that's how important secrecy is and how much of a competitive advantage it can be. Now, I do want to show how I used AI to build it though. So for that, I'm going to be showing you another product or another landing page that we built. And I want you guys to guess what it's for. At the end of the video, I'll tell you what it's about, but you can try guessing what it's for. So here we go. I'll show you the website to begin with. For those of you guys that don't know code, do not be intimidated by this because I'm not a technical person either. And this is honestly a piece of cake. Okay, so here we have it. 1.4 billion nodes. It's a landing page. Okay, I'll tell you that. And again, I have no technical experience. This took me like probably 10 minutes to build. The only thing that I probably struggled with was maybe the layouting and all of that. And when I say struggled, I mean like 2 more prompts than otherwise. So maybe 15-20 minutes at max. Building this thing was literally a piece of cake. So how did we do it? Okay, first thing, Gemini. Okay, so this was the first prompt that I used to build this website. And as you can see, the output is quite shit, right? Like it's done. I mean, it tried something. It tried like some really techie, hacky type vibe stuff, but it's really shit. Okay, so then what I did was I went to Pinterest, took a reference image like, hey, look, we want a website with this sort of style, minimal font, black background, matte texture, super subtle with some nice big font in the middle, very simple. And first thing it did was it generated an image with Nano banana. So as you can see, this is what the image looked like. And I was like, this is fucking beautiful. So let's go with this. And then I gave it more details about what I want to be, like what has to be there in the first page and all of that. And para bing, para boom, it built it. I mean, dude, like fucking insane. So few more prompts back and forth. You need to do this page by page. You can't just say, hey, build this entire page. Like this final thing that you see right now is multiple iterations and then it came up with this. So you can't just be like, hey, build and it builds this. You need to actually go page by page and then do it. So again, go back to Pinterest, took another reference image, came back like, hey, look, the layout for this needs to be like this. Create this hovering sort of animation over here and make it sort of translucent. What is that effect called? I don't even know, but it's really trending right now with a lot of UI folks where it's sort of translucent like glass almost. Copied that also from Pinterest, prompted like, hey, do it this way. And the reason why I'm not going too much into the prompts and like, all of these stuff is because there's so many videos out there, like fucking Varun Maya, all these guys are killer at this shit. So you don't really need to learn all of that from here. But what I want you to focus on is how easy it is for a non-technical person to just build shit like this. Basically, what AI has created for us is the cost of curiosity has become near zero. Sure, you might have to pay for the subscriptions at max, but that also for a lot of us in India, especially at least, it's free, right? Not gonna lie, initially I thought like, hey, look, it's people that think, people that are smart, people that are able to think creatively, that build crazy stuff with AI. What I've realized is that's bullshit. The reality is people that are willing to put themselves out there and make 20 mistakes like this are the ones that win. And the beauty of this whole thing is, right, when I had an idea, I couldn't show you that, but I built the prototype, or at least what the UI would look like, the front end of it, in a matter of like 30 minutes at max. And the beauty of the whole thing is, I remember I had this one workshop when I was at college. It was in this company called Headless Hippies that conducted it for us. Beautiful workshop. What one core idea that they got across to us was, hey, look, when you're building stuff, physical products like toys, we were working with some sort of children's toys for that workshop. Don't just write it down or prophesize or create theories and strategies. Actually take something like paper, clay, something, and just maneuver it into like what the product might look like. This is that. When I was pitching this product to people, they were not able to understand like, okay, what would it look like and all of that. 45 minutes, boom, I have the product. Look, this is what it look like. This is what the flow will look like. Briefly, don't go into the details. This is what it might look like. This is the potential. These are the odds. These are the features, all this beautiful shit. So what that's basically created is, generally businesses are symmetrical, right? Like you just because you put one step front doesn't mean the business will grow 10 times, or there's no straight path to creating success in business. And that's mostly because of how unpredictable humans are. But everybody knows with unpredictability, right? Like if you gamble and all of that, if you play 1,000 hands, you will probably make at least a lot of money in one of those hands. So with AI, the game is really, you play 1,000 hands, you see what the customer is like, validate your idea. If they like it, fucking beautiful, let's go. You have a winning idea, go out there and execute it on full throttle. But the rate at which you can fail has changed, meaning business in some sort of way has become symmetrical. Now coming back to the strategy side of things. So when we're building this product, right, like I said, it's a blue ocean product, meaning we cannot look out there for inspiration. So research, which is one big thing that we learned in college, is shit. What are you going to research? Do you think Steve Jobs researched like what a laptop would, or an iPhone or an iPod will look like? No, it wasn't there in the market. So then how do you really leverage AI also at the same time? Because at the end of the day, AI is just pulling information from information that's out there. Is it really creating information of its own? I don't know. Still questionable at the very least. So you then state the problem and not the template. Meaning, this is the problem. Design based on this problem. And at the same time, reference images, which is what I told you about. Now, why are we in stealth mode? For those of you that don't know what stealth mode is basically we're under the radar with building this business. In fact, I was really questioning telling about it even, but as long as I don't tell what it's about, I guess it's still fine, hopefully. But stealth mode basically gives you a competitive advantage against Goliaths, like I said, because you have something that you believe that can disrupt an industry. Now, when you're against a giant, like for example, let's take ChatGPT versus Google, right? ChatGPT came out of nowhere. OpenAI came out of nowhere simply because they had that one feature and that one product that was so different from what is already out there. And they were able to create so much of a runway, meaning so much of a head start with AI. They were so far ahead that by the time Google caught up and started or joined the race even, ChatGPT was already established. That's one of the biggest ways for small companies like us or small people like us to really compete with these giants. We need to be discreet. We cannot be throwing out all our ideas out there because they just come in, they have all the money in the world, all the talent in the world. They can just sweep away industries and people and businesses. So that's why this whole stealth mode thing is being implicated right now. Now, with AI coming into the picture and technology and all these things we're able to build, It basically means you need fewer people to get more done than ever before. So considering that, those few people that we get must be top-notch fucking folks. What I'm doing is currently focusing a lot on hiring in our company, and I have an entire strategy for it. We're looking for pirates, not sailors. In case you didn't realize, the website was just that. The website was a hiring portal or a hiring landing page where ideal candidates can come, put in their portfolio and show us what they've got. That being said, like I said, we're looking for co-founders that really are willing to break the rules over here, because disruption is created by thinking outside the box. So considering that, this weekend I'm doing something that I've never done before. I'm going to an event, a Google developer event. In fact, I've got a preview for you over here of some things that you can expect. So part of the strategy is actually building like a business card. So this is what the business card looks like. I don't know if it's focusing. I don't know. But this is the business card. It's going to be given to people on Saturday. And there's a lot more strategy to it. Like I said, you saw the landing page already. So considering hiring is a key focus right now to be able to create this value for people and for you and to show you how it's done, I've come up with a strategy for hiring and how I'm going to approach it, all of it. But there are a few more key things that I hope will really help us. If you want to know how that goes and see whether what worked, what did not work, so that it can help you when you're out building your company or hiring people, then do subscribe to the channel. And also, I will be telling the result. What did we get out of it? How many people responded? What is the response like? All of that. So until then, see you.